Coming up on Mountain News this morning, Kentuckians across the Commonwealth go out to the polls to cast their ballots, but counties across our region see a pretty low turnout during their elections. Good morning. It's Wednesday, and it's, oh, well, wait a minute. We're waiting. 6:01. Good morning. I'm Dakota Makris. Thanks for waking up with us. Let's take it over to Brandon this morning. Brandon, calm and I was going to say calm and cool right now. No, it is calm.
Well, it is kind of cool in some spots. Yeah. It really is. So you're technically right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's in the 40s in parts of Southwest Virginia, but it is calm right now. That will not be the case a little bit later today. Let's take a look and see what's going on right now with temperatures, and we are in the 40s. Actually, in more places now, 46 in Clintwood, 49 in Harlan, 48 in Jonesville. A lot of 50s out there, only 160 this morning. That's over in Jackson. They'll probably be back in the 50s before too long. Moorhead down to 59 now, Pikeville at 58, Middlesboro 50, so we're watching them too. 76 this afternoon is our average high, 84 is our forecast high, just 4 degrees shy of the record set back on this day in 1982. And speaking of records, we're going to break one of those a little bit later this week. But again, we're watching today because of the possibility for some showers and storms that could be on the stronger side a little bit later this afternoon and tonight. I'll tell you more about those coming up here in just a little bit. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Well, the U.S. Senate race is now set for November. Former State Representative Charles Booker defeated 3 primary opponents to secure the Democratic nomination. The former representative has his work cut out for him. The last Democrat elected to the Senate from Kentucky was Wendell Ford. That was back in 1992. Booker will face off against incumbent Senator Rand Paul. It is sure to be a clash of ideologies, as a libertarian-leaning Paul is challenged by the more progressive Booker. Senator Paul had several primary challengers but managed to cruise to a landslide victory to hold on to his seat. Paul and Booker will square off in the crucial midterm election on November 8th. Garrett Weimer looks ahead to the November election.
Democratic challenger Charles Booker celebrated in Louisville. For a night at least.
How y'all doing?
Soaking in the historic nature of his nomination.
If anybody tells you change is not possible, if anybody tells you that ceilings can't break, tell them look at Kentucky. Tell them look at us.
He'll now take his campaign, as he says, from the hood to the holler in hopes of ending up in Washington, D.C.
Now is really our chance to show the national stage what it looks like when regular people fight back. Not on partisan divides, but about humanity.
The progressive Booker easily rolled to a primary win against 3 other Democrats, but he faces a far more difficult battle against 2-term Senator Rand Paul.
Kentucky, I want to thank you for voting for me to be your Republican nominee for Senate. I'm honored to serve and honored to have your vote.
Paul did not hold an election night watch party, instead releasing a video statement from Washington.
As I do most weeks, I'm here in D.C. battling the socialists and petty tyrants. Kentucky and all of America deserve better than the massive spending, runaway debt, and crippling inflation that Biden, Pelosi, and Schumer are giving us. I'm working every day to fight back, and I hope you'll continue to support me and get out and vote this fall.
Senator Paul won his first election in 2010 by more than 11 points and won re-election in 2016 by close to 15 points.
Constitution, not to any foreign nation, and no matter how.
That was Garrett Weimer reporting. So far in the campaign, Senator Paul has already raised roughly $20 million. Campaign finance reports show he still has $8.6 million on hand. Booker has a long way to go to make up that difference. FEC records show his campaign has less than $500,000 on hand after the primary. The election results for our region are also in Kentucky's 5th district. Congressman Hal Rogers easily won the Republican primary. Now he is seeking his 22nd term. The congressman was first elected back in 1981. He will face Democrat Connor Habib in November, a political newcomer. He is a University of Louisville law student. His platform is focused on universal health care, a jobs guarantee program, and environmental protection. Congressman Rogers released this statement last night saying, quote, "I'm humbled to be chosen as the Republican nominee for Kentucky's 5th District. It is a privilege to serve in Congress, and I promise to never stop working for the mountains. Joe Biden and his liberal allies may want to destroy our way of life, but I'll always fight for our pro-life, pro-gun values. This November, Republicans can vote to stop Biden and Pelosi and put conservatives back in control of the House. Let's keep the momentum going and stand up for our America First values," end quote. In the 6th District congressional race, incumbent Andy Barr easily defeated Derek Petty's. On the Democrat side, Jeffrey Young took the lead. Chris Priest, he will now face Barr in the fall. Former State Representative Tim Couch wanted back into politics, but he will have to wait until another election cycle. He challenged Leslie County Judge Executive William Lewis. Lewis defeated then incumbent Jimmy Sizemore in 2018, and he defeated Couch last night. Well, over in Breathitt County, incumbent Judge Executive Jeff Noble has won the Democratic primary. With 4,159 total votes, the incumbent Noble received 1,646 of the votes, nearly 550 more than the next closest. Estelle McIntosh came in with 1,100 and Alice Tincher gathering 931. Noble celebrated the news with friends and family at DeWitt Park outside of Jackson.
I just want to thank God for this opportunity to be able to be here, and just can't be thankful enough for his love and his grace for me.
In the Republican primary, former Judge Executive Harvey Jason Richardson beat out Everett Kelly, so it will be Richardson and Noble battling it out in November. Well, staying in Breathitt County, John Holland was reelected as sheriff. Holland received more than 50% of the 4,162 votes cast, with 2,126. Former Breathitt County Sheriff Ray Clemens came in with 1,660 and Robert Moby Smith 376. No Republicans entered the contest. We'll let the name game begin in Floyd County. November's general election for sheriff will pit two John Hunts against one another. Incumbent Democrat John P. Hunt defeated Nathan Lafferty in the Democratic primary, while another John Hunt won on the Republican side, defeating Randy Woods. Mark McKenzie has officially secured his second term as Johnson County Judge Executive yesterday evening. McKenzie received nearly 2/3 of the votes in this year's primary over opponent Lyndon Butcher and says the community support and trust is a humbling experience. McKenzie also says he was excited to continue projects as he started in his first stint as a judge executive, and said he has learned so much from his first term.
We've had several announcements in the last 6 to 8 months about projects that are just difference makers for our community, and you know, we want to keep pushing those, but we're just getting warmed up. I mean, we're going to keep pushing these projects, you know, every day to try to improve, you know, the quality of life here.
Well, McKenzie said he would be celebrating with victory with friends, family, neighbors, and a slice of pie from a local diner in downtown Paintsville. In Pike County, incumbent Judge Executive Ray Jones was reelected to his position after facing off against Prentice Atkins. Jones celebrated his 3,468 to 2,073 win with family and friends at the Appalachian Wireless Arena, saying the race got messy and there is still work to be done in Pike County, so he is blessed to be reelected to see it to fruition.
We got the county going in the right direction, and we're going to keep it moving that way. Pike County's better days are ahead of us, and you know, it's going to mean a lot of work. It's going to mean a lot of people coming together, Republican and Democrat.
Well, Jones says there is no rest for him and is back to work today to get the county to where it needs to be. Well, there was a wet-dry election over in Rowan County. By a wide margin, voters approved the sale of alcoholic beverages across the county. The city of Moorhead was already wet. The Secretary of State lowered his voter turnout prediction to less than 20%, and well, it appears he may be right. We talked with county clerks in Harlan, Laurel, and Pike counties. Laurel County Clerk Tony Brown tells us voter turnout was less than normal because many races were unopposed. An election worker we talked to in Harlan County says more people took advantage of early voting.
We did early voting Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and they was actually really good numbers for the turnout. So naturally, it makes the numbers on election day look smaller than what they really are.
Well, of course, you can see all the election results and the voter turnout over on our website at WYMT.com.
few clouds rolling through parts of the region this morning here at 610 and a few showers off in the distance, but we are dry for now. Let's take a look at our satellite radar loop for the last 6 hours, and you see that rain trying to work its way toward us slowly, but there is a front stalled off to our north that will help steer all this rain coming in a little bit later today. 46 in Clintwood, 48 Jonesville, 49 Harlan, 50s everywhere else with the exception of Jackson. They're still sitting at 60 for the moment. 84 this afternoon. Rain chances return later today after a dry start. Some chances for showers and storms could pick up a little later today and tonight. Some of those could be severe, so we have launched our severe weather alert day mode. Strong storms again possible later. All threats on the table there, but the best threat for an isolated spinning up tornado will be out in those western counties along I-75 and back toward Lake Cumberland, and we could see some record-breaking heat by the end of the week. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. 6:11. When we come back here on Mountain News this morning, President Joe Biden calls on Americans to end racism in response to a deadly shooting in the state of New York. That's on the way.